Day 3 to the Contributor Growth Working Group meeting. I will be your host, and I shared our agenda in the chat. Keep in mind the meeting is being recorded and we should adhere to the CNCF Code of Conduct. All right, let's start off with the first agenda point so we can help Nate out the door as soon as we're done with that. Okay, from the last day Contributor Strategy meeting, we talked about the roadmap and where we want to go. So one of the things that we considered is having a single contributor strategy board for all working groups and initiatives of the DAG contributor strategy. So I went ahead and made a board, which, thank you, Nate, is now public. After I made it, it was private, and that was a bit of a mess. So he fixed that for us. And the idea that we discussed last time, Josh proposed that we do views. So let me see if I can share my screen. We can have that visible for the recording. My word, I've got too many things open. There we are, share that. Now you should see a browser with a board. So basically we've got the project board overall for the whole project. And then we have the different views that I've loaded up to here. And now we've got the contributor growth view. And here we could choose to have it as a table, or we can also do a board here. I think we should see what works for us. So this is a proposal that I want to run past everybody, and then taking it to governance, same thing, and it actually sorts according to the labeling. There's a lot of overlap, so you'll have issues in different boards, but the main tracking, I think, should happen through the project board. And once we really adopt the board and the method, I think we should do a bit of triage and assigning and make sure everything is labeled, because everything is not labeled, and work a little more structured and see if we can knock out a few things. And then once we know very well what's on the board, with the, as you, for instance, go to help wanted, there is a lot of help wanted things. Then we can get all the people that say, how can I help? Give them this board and say, go pick something and help. So that's kind of the thought here.
Nice.
So any feedback, comments, ways that we want to do or not want to do?
And just a note that those drop downs on the sub pages that let you choose whether it's a table or a board are specific to you. So I can look at it as a board, you can look at it as a list. Because I'm looking at it as a board right now while you were looking at it as a list.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
So you can look at it whatever way you want to, depending on what you're trying to do.
One of the other things I like about the system too is if you click on that drop down, there's a third view, which is the roadmap, which if you add like a start date or you can actually, it's a bit of a, what do they call it, a Gantt chart, where you can actually start planning out where things can be, or level of effort, things like that, which could be helpful. One other bit of feedback in terms of your tabs across the top, I would suggest a different label for the project tab, maybe something along the lines of overview, because project in this case, I don't think actually describes what that board is.
Fully agree.
And then the other, so is this just from my own understanding, each of these other tabs are all of the issues on each of our and is this a listing of each of the working groups? And is it a listing of all of their issues in that working group repo?
No, it's not. It is purely according to what I've done is the sorting is up here. It's according to the label. But if you go to the overview, you'll see there's several issues in here that doesn't have labels. So we'll have to be more diligent about labeling to make sure that they show up in the specific areas, make sure that they get labeled in the right way.
Okay.
Now that was one of the first things that jumped out to me, and I'm not familiar with, as I could be, with GitHub search mechanisms. Is it possible to do a tab to say these do not have a working group label? Is that a possible search that we can do within this?
What you could do is, you're right. So let's do a new view and we make a table.
I'm sorry, can we pause and let's not lose that question.
Yes.
But again, I don't come to this meeting very often. Who is the audience for this board and what are we looking to provide them?
My thought about this is just a part of our road mapping strategy. So I like your suggestion about using the roadmap function as well, where we can actually map out what we want to do when. So the full roadmap strategy that we were discussing is the one is having a well-organized repo, which we more or less got sorted, having a visual overview of that in a graphic, which I will discuss with Jay next week, and then also having a project board where we can track visually all the things. And the last point was having goals, like mentoring group have goals for the year. We need to decide whether every working group or initiative gonna have annual goals, which would require, but on the one hand, a lot of keeping up with that, making sure every year that you do have goals, but also it will keep us more nose to the grindstone and keep us more responsible for the things that we commit to.
Okay, and then so that's an overview of what it is. So the other part of that question is who is it for? Who are we sharing this with?
I think the board is for anybody that's interested in the work of the contributor strategy group. So it's public, everybody can see it, and anybody that want to get involved can use the board as a mechanism to see what's available within this tag.
Okay.
The only thing that I'm stuck on at the moment is mentoring. What I did is I created a label for mentoring inside, because mentoring's got a repo of their own. And then I created a label called mentoring inside mentoring, which was over labeling, which would then pull in the mentoring issues over here.
Right.
I could not find the old boards. You could actually, the classic boards, you could link specific repos to a board. But in the new board, I could not figure it out yet. I spent some time on it this week. I couldn't figure out there's somewhere. It's not, it used to be, if you go settings, over here, there was link a repo, but it's not there anymore. So I need to go to GitHub management.
Yeah, and that I think that's a circle back to Noah's question about sort of how things are being brought in. Let me take a look.
And at the moment, back to the question I was brought in at the moment, all the issues that's here, I manually loaded it by going add an item and stick it in there. So I did all of this manually, which is not exactly the right way, because in future you want everything that's new to be automated to be brought under new. Otherwise, somebody needs to take responsibility to continually comb the repos. It's only this repo and the mentoring repo, but still it's not the right way to do that. So automation is required. So help there would be welcome.
Yeah, we
should probably file an issue for the automation bit so that we don't lose track of that.
I was going to say, and I would also tag maybe Rob Kilty on that. He may be able to help. But overall, I like the idea of this. I just am afraid of anything that is a manual process like this is going to fall down, right? So if we can, and then this is why I'm sort of questioning, like, do we want to bring in, for instance, all of the issues from mentoring WG, Or do we only want to bring in some issues for mentoring WG? Like, that's the other question I've got, is like, okay, I understand that the audience is essentially the folks on this call, and we're trying to provide us with an understanding of what the working groups are doing. But with the number of working groups that we have and the number of issues, I'm afraid of mentoring flooding. But there's a lot there. So a question is like, what do we, like, how much granularity do you want on the day-to-day workings of some of these working groups?
Ali, yes, your hands up.
I will change the subject a little bit. So in some Knative meetings, for example, what we do is we have this kind of board, and at the end of the community meetings like this one, we just go through the board if there's time, and we do some kind of backlog grooming or triaging or whatever it's called. So if we have some kind of process like that to have a better overview to track stuff, this is very useful, this kind of board.
And I think, yeah, fully agree. And then also on the point about mentoring, like mentoring is the only initiative that actually got its own board. So it's a bit of an outlier. Personally, I think it would be good if the issue lives here as well. So we have a full overview of everything that's under the tag. But
Okay.
it shouldn't be it shouldn't affect the way it's run on that side, managing the issues. And then also if we do follow the same process here, just tracking them on this side and link that back to the repo. So you can see, here's the issues in the repo and they are managed on the board on this side. That should be possible. Unless there's a specific reason not to.
I wonder if the automation in the actual mentoring repo would be helpful here.
I think a good point is reaching out to Rob too, so I'll do that. I'll take it on me to see how I can join the repo. So I've been digging quite a bit. I couldn't find the way yet. Thanks for the feedback. Any other thoughts?
Sorry, I'm jumping the gun and just looking it up. Where's actions? Can I? And you said you've already labeled a couple of issues?
No, I haven't. I just sorted them according to the labels. I didn't add labels to anything. I didn't want to take the liberty of
I appreciate
assigning labels that I'm not sure. I just experimented with the mentoring label that I added, and I labeled 2 issues there, but I also, again, I removed that label just to reset it after our meeting. So it was just a test to show what it's going to look like, but
okay.
Nothing else labeled.
Can I ask which ones were labeled that? Just because because it looks like they're on that project.
It is what I've got them loaded on the project. So if you go to overview, we'll probably find them here.
Probably easier if you just click over to mentoring.
No, they're not showing up on mentoring. These are actually, if you open them, they are on, and that's the other reason why I was thinking, because this is on tag contribute to strategy.
Oh, I see.
And that's the other reason why I was thinking
okay.
that we should bring, because you have some mentoring things here and some there, and then you can have them in one place. So these 2 are labeled as mentoring inside that contribute strategy repo. But there is 2 other ones in here in the overview. I'm not going to waste everybody's time looking for them, but they are there, which is
okay. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going to link tag contributor strategy board. So now the tag contributor strategy board is a part of the CNCF mentoring repo, which means I believe you should be able to set automations in CNCF mentoring to add something to the board. And on this board now, you should be able to add, if you open up your mentoring tab again, I believe you should just be able to pull things in from the mentoring repo very, very easily, I'm hoping.
I'm sure it would. Okay, let me.
But we can take that offline.
See what I can get now back and forth with you a little and see, because it's just related to automation that I don't know yet. Any other thoughts on this topic?
And I wanted +1 Ali's suggestion that we have a part of any meeting that deals with the board spends a part of it triaging said board.
Yeah, we should actually just add that as a standing agenda item for all of the meetings. I think we should go through the meetings and add a few standard kind of agenda items like, like reviewing issues and PRs for, for the working group, things like that are probably good to have. And I think we have those as some standing agenda items in some of the other meetings. But the roadmap's a good standing agenda item.
Just while I'm looking at the projects here, may I also link this to so we have the CNCF / tag contributor strategy repo. May I also link this board to that repo?
Yes, please. I think that.
Okay, that has been linked now. So that should mean now, for instance, on any of the issues, if you open up literally any issue, you can, over on the projects, in the right-hand column, there's a projects section. You should be able to add any issue to that from the issue itself, rather to that board from any issue itself.
Okay, I'll have a look through that. Then there is 1 or 2 boards that was hardly attended to or haven't been attended to for a long time. I think the last time, one of the contributor boards was in January, and they're all still the classic boards. Can I close all those? So we just have the single board.
I'm gonna guess yes, but before we do that, can you post a thread in Slack and tag Catherine and Josh?
Yes.
I just don't want to do that given that we're missing 2 of the tag chairs. I'm okay with that. I think we should have 1 board, but I don't want to speak on behalf of other people. There might be some stuff in there that they want to look at first.
Absolutely. I'll make a thread in Slack to discuss and link to the board.
Sweet. Thanks.
That is all I have regarding boards. Now I can jump over to 2 issues that I've thrown in. Nate, if you need to drop, and you don't want to attend to the issues,
just gonna say,
you're welcome.
Lovely seeing you all today. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your day. Thank you. Talk soon.
Thanks, Nate. All right, let me open the first one. So add design proposal templates. Why did I add this? It is actually still, I added because I saw there was some movement on here, and Dawn, you did some work on here. So this is moving forward, looks like. So that, I think this.
Yeah, that one, I think that was right leading up to KubeCon. I think we dropped the ball on that one. So I do want Josh to look at it before we merge it, but I think we've at least got that back on people's radars.
Yeah, and I see bolded bringing Josh there, so that's good to go. Then the next one that I added, that I caught my eye is the licensing one. This has been open since 2021, and it looks like it was going very well. There wasn't any objections from what I saw, back and forth, and then it kind of died. I'm not sure if this issue is long before my time. If we want to, and I think part of the triage, and we don't have to decide on this today, maybe we should have more people in the hall when we, and use the triage to clean up, because we got a lot of issues in the contributor strategy repo that is properly just stale, that need to be closed. So if we can either revive things that need attention, or the things that are stale, just close them off, so we have a smaller focus area. So
Yeah, I'm not sure what to do with this one. Let's ping here. I'll leave a comment on this. I'm gonna ping Chris and Amy. And just ask them what they think. And Emily as the TOC chair. Okay, I'll do that. Just a second.
Thank you very much.
This is pretty interesting though. I was looking for something like that like 2 weeks ago, exactly.
I knew we were looking for it, Ali, and that's why I added the agenda.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. No, that's why I left all the issues in the new column, and I think slowly triaging through that from meeting to meeting, we should hopefully, before the second half of the year is out, we should be able to just have valid issues left.
Okay, I just left a comment on that.
Thank you very much. And that is it. I thought, let me not add too many things to discuss. Let's make another call for triaging. I don't know if there's any other thoughts on the work where we are.
I don't have anything else to add to the agenda. I feel like this has been, it's been a, I don't know, lots of conferences. I know Josh is out at a conference again this week. I was at North America. I feel like we haven't gotten a lot of contributor growth stuff done the last few weeks. So I think it's.
And as far as I could tell, the things that tried to happen at conferences all got derailed.
Yeah. It's hard to get work done at conferences.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. I don't have anything else unless anybody else does.
All right. Thank you very much. I will try and tidy up the board and link all the repos and make sure there's some automation to make it better. And
thanks so much for doing those boards. That's really fantastic. I'm excited that we actually have them.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's my pleasure.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Half an hour back to everybody. Have a good day.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Cheers.